operating when it's in homeostatic balance. Okay? Then we're going to look at the pathology. What happens when it goes out of homeostatic balance? So you need to think of pathology as a loss of homeostasis. Every disorder, every disease, almost every single one is a loss of homeostatic balance. It means the internal system has failed for one reason or another. So as a clinician, you need to learn how it operates normally first in order to understand what's going to happen when it goes out of balance. Now, by the time you start A&P2, we'll actually be doing clinical scenarios where I'll say, oh, the liver's doing this, what's going to happen to the kidneys and the lungs and the heart? Yeah, just push and come on it. Last name? Hunt. Okay, Hunt. So you will be able to see that every system quickly responds when somebody is out of homeostasis to try to put you back in. You're Starlene, is that right? At the end of class, let me give you the handouts you're going to need.
She has them. I got them for her.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So let me give you a classic example, and it's not this one. It's body temperature, because I think more of us have experienced body temperature fluctuations than blood sugar fluctuations. So you need to maintain an internal body temperature in order to burn your furnace, to run your metabolic rate. If you cool down too much, your metabolic rate drops too low to support life, you get drowsy, your metabolism fails, and you die. If you get too hot, you overheat all of your internal tissues, all of your enzymes, you literally cook your enzymes, and your metabolism can't run. So animals, complicated animals, maintain an internal body temperature by one way or another. Very simple animals do it by doing things like going out and basking in the sun to warm up, and if it's too hot, they crawl under a rock, right? But most big, complicated animals also have internal systems, sensors to read body temperature changes, and then generating of responses. And I thought I had I guess I don't. I gotta change this. So let's talk about body temperature. And to do that, we have to look at your brain. Because up here, in the lower middle part of your brain, is your thermostat. Blood circulates around it in cerebrospinal fluid, so the thermostat in your brain always knows what temperature you're at. And it is set normally at 37 degrees centigrade. You're going to have to learn to think in centigrade. That's about 98.6 Fahrenheit. And it doesn't let you shift off too much because you'll chill down too much and shut down, or warm up too much and cook. So let's say you get too hot. Your blood will get too hot. And the thermostat in your brain, which regulates much of the organ function in your body, will command your body to cool down. And these commands are sent out to various organs by way of nerves that come out of the brain. All right? We don't need to learn that yet. We'll learn it at the end of the semester. So all sorts of cool down mechanisms are activated. Yes, ma'am?
I know this is really off topic, but for someone with MS, when their nerves don't coordinate with their brain, they have trouble regulating their temperature?
Absolutely. The commands may be really sluggish, so they don't cool down as quickly, and they don't warm up as quickly, so they need to do things.
Okay.
They need to avoid temperature changes too much, and always wear layers, because they're not going to have a rapid response enough to stay healthy. So the most important thing the brain does, and we'll learn this when we do skin, the most important way you manage your body temperature, believe it or not, is through your skin. So the brain commands all the blood vessels in the skin we call this vasodilate, to open up. So the blood vessels in the skin open up all that hot blood from the core comes out into the skin. And the skin becomes really red, right, when you're hot? Red and really plump and full of blood. And then all that heat from the skin can radiate out into the atmosphere. So vasodilatation is one of the major ways you cool down. You get a lot of hot blood from the core, is cooled down by putting it in the radiator of your skin, as long as you've got skin. Now, people who have extensive burns over their body can't temperature regulate because they don't have that radiator effect going on. Your heart rate goes up to push blood more rapidly into your skin in order to cool you down. And you also start to sweat. Another function of the skin. Now, sweat is hot water. So all your little sweat glands pump out the salty material that's full of heat, and that water evaporates. So you cool evaporatively by sweating, and you cool by conduction, by sending hot air out into the environment. And most of this is done by way of the skin. Now, what if you have a lot of fur on your body? Is there anything else you can do to increase the rate with which you cool? What does your dog do?
Okay.
Right. Have you ever felt a dog's breath when they're really hot? It's really hot. So they pump out a lot of hot, moist air over the surface of their lungs. In fact, when people are really hot, they pant too. So as long as you have functional skin, you're going to be able to cool down right back, hopefully, to that nice equilibrium point by this process of vasodilatation. Now, what if you're too cold? Again, the thermostat reads that your body temperature has dropped below 37 degrees centigrade, and now you do things to heat conserve. So and this is done through the skin. Most of it is done through the skin. Now, core blood, let me put it this way. Blood goes from skin to core. You don't let blood out in the skin. In fact, let me put it, I'm guys, I did this backwards. I have to learn to teach all over again. It's been a summer. Instead of vasodilate, you vasoconstrict in your skin. All the blood vessels close down. All that blood from your skin stays in the core. And what this does is it preserves the precious core heat. The last thing you would want is to be vasodilated when you're cold. You would lose all that precious heat into your skin. So your blood vessels squeeze down in your skin, and all the blood is stored in your core where it won't radiate heat out through the skin. And what does the skin look like when it's really cold? It's going to be bluish, right, because it won't have any blood in it. It will be thin, it will be dry, it will be pale, because it's vasoconstricted. And you protected all that blood very, very nicely by hiding it in the core. Now, the problem with this is if you're too cold for too long, you will shut down circulation, not just to your skin, but to anything else that sticks out. So you can actually lose your ears and your lips and your nose and your fingers because blood is hoarded in the core to preserve it from that kind of heat loss. So this is a beautiful homeostatic mechanism that works as long as your, as long as your brain is working well and your nervous system's working well, and you're not sick. Now, when you're infected, when you have an infection, very often as a part of the infectious process, your brain's temperature thermostat goes up. Yes, sir?
As the lecture proceeded, right, and we have looked at our tests, okay, and the questions for the test, is it appropriate to ask you a question that's directly relative to the, okay?
not us directly, but you can see me after class, and I can hem and haw my way through it.
Okay.
Okay.